Hey everybody. I hope you all had a good weekend. I did. We just moved house finally. Yay. Anyways, I'm living in a little bit of chaos, but happy to be here. Okay, the topic of today is how to enjoy anything in life. And I think the best way to prove this to you is to actually do a little exercise if you're willing. Very short, but hopefully you'll play along with me. Okay, so I just want you to center yourself for a second. So take a breath, put your feet on the floor, notice your body against the chair if you're sitting. Don't do this if you're driving. And just take a few breaths, get yourself grounded. And I want you to imagine yourself doing an activity that you do just for you. You do it because you enjoy it. And imagine yourself doing it and notice what that feels like. And now let's just pretend that somebody walks over and they stand over top of you as you're doing this activity, and they are expecting and commanding you to keep doing it. And notice what that feels like. Okay, so what you probably noticed was when you were doing the activity just for you, there was a lot of enjoyment that was no longer there when the person walked over and expected you to keep going. And this is so important because we often believe that enjoyment comes from the activity itself. And what you just demonstrated was that it comes from the intention. Even an activity that you originally really enjoyed can be tainted if the intention is coming from an outside pressure. So I want you to now connect this to your own life. Whatever it is that you might be struggling to enjoy on a daily basis, whether that's your work or sticking to your health goals or whatever it is, your relationship. If you're struggling to enjoy it, make a list of the whys behind the doing. And imagine there are two buckets in front of you. One bucket says for me, and one bucket says for them. If the for them bucket is being filled up, if your list of whys is for them and there's nothing in the for you bucket, then it's going to feel a lot like it felt when that person came over and stood over top of you and commanded you to keep going, even if it's an activity that you originally really liked. So, how do we shift over to the for you bucket and fill that one up instead? Let me give you some examples. If it's a health related goal that you have and you're filling up that bucket with, I'm doing this because I want to look good and I'm doing this for other people or because I don't want to feel this way anymore. I feel really embarrassed or something. Those are all for them's buckets, right? So maybe reconnecting with the for you would be the sense of vitality and energy that you feel when you're really taking care of yourself and how that impacts your entire day. That would be the for you bucket, right? Let's say it's for work and you're going to work because you have to make a certain amount of money so that you can supply for your family. And it's coming from that kind of financial outside pressure. Maybe shifting that over to what really got you excited about going to work when you first started. Maybe it was that sense of mastery and skillfulness that you brought into the work itself that you can reconnect to. A relationship. If you're in a relationship because of some moral law, some moral code that you have, that is a for them bucket, right? Versus being in the relationship because of that sense of commitment and connection that you feel with your partner, that it would be a for you bucket. So you can shift over into the for you bucket. And one thing I'll say about this that people often tell me is, well, that feels really selfish. Um, you know, self-centered to be doing everything for myself instead of for other people. And my answer to that is, how do you show up in your relationships when your whole day is filled with obligations and it's all about expectations, right? And doing things for other people. Versus how do you show up in your relationships when you're having a really good day and you're really connected to doing things that are important to you? Because what tends to be best for ourselves in the long run also tends to be best for the people around us in the long run. And the last idea that I have on this one is, if you want to, once you reconnect to the why and fill up your why bucket that's for you, you can set that intention for coming into the activity. The how. How are you going to engage in this activity? And a good way to connect to that is to imagine that you're sitting in a theater and you're watching yourself go about it on the big screen. If it's for them, you might describe the way you're going about it as being kind of reluctantly or impatiently or whatever, But when you reconnect to the why, how would you be doing this activity? How would you describe yourself going about it? Maybe that would be more skillfully, more patiently, more consistently, with more dedication. What is the intention? If you were to watch yourself on the big screen going about that activity, how would you describe yourself going about it? And then bringing that intention into the activity itself the next time you do it. So, those are some ideas to reconnect you with something personally meaningful and to show you how anything in life can be enjoyed. It's not so much the activity as it is the why behind what we're doing. So, I hope it was helpful, and I hope you all have a good day. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go unpack some boxes for a while before I get back to work. Have a good one.